ESPN, Esports Broadcasting Network. You guys know the name. It's me, Byron Rodney, sitting up here in the booth, bringing you racing for the Top Fuel IndyCar Series. Top Fuel Racing. IndyCar racing at its best, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we're coming to you from the Chicagoland Speedway. Don't know why they call it Chicago. It's located outside. Maybe that's why they call it Chicagoland. It's so far out there. We're bringing you the Top Fuel IndyCar Series from the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Chicago. How you doing? Byron Rodney up here. We're watching the guys working qualifying, just getting everything underway here. ESPN, you guys know the name. We have a lot of fun doing this. Open qualifying going on, everybody. And if we go and take a look to see who we see out there. Let's see how the grid's shaping up in qualifying. Ooh, if I'm not mistaken, that's Mr. Rick Ravon holding down the top spot with a fast lap at 24.748. Followed shortly by Chris Samard, Robert Dudley, Scotty Brinson, Adam Chapman holding down the 5th spot. Michael Jeans, Jeff Hollingsworth in 7th, Timothy Bates in 8th, Cameron Bostaine holding down the 9 and rounding out your top 10 in qualifying. My cohort from ESPN, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. Checking the track conditions today. 77 degrees outside. Track looks like it's starting to cool down. Only 89 degrees on the track temperature. Lower temperature, folks, equals more grip. Guys are going to like that. They're probably holding off on their qualifying. Only got 30 seconds left in qualifying. Just trying out a few new buttons here, everybody. We got a points battle going on. We have this race, we have the Indy 500 to race, and then we got one more. We're going to set a champion here, folks. Hey, let me bring up the point standings. Take a look at the top 10 right here. Scotty Brinson leading the pack with 563 points. 1 point behind him, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth at 562. 13 behind the leader, Keith Maiato in 3rd. And another 69 back, you'll find Paul Krumrye in 4th. Rounded out the top 5 with Chris Samard, 69 points, tied for that 4th place. Guys, the way the last races can go, this top, 7 or 8 can shuffle up easily, and we can have a whole new point standing. It's going to be interesting to see where things wind up after tonight. 150 laps here at Krums Kustom Graphix Blues Brothers 225. Can't get enough of saying that. Blues Brothers. Joliet Jake. Well, it looks like qualifying's over. Getting ready to set that top grid. Here comes your top 10 in qualifying, folks. Rick Ravon holding down the top spot. Chris Samard 2nd. Robert Dudley holding down the 3rd. 4th would be Scotty Brinson. Michael Jeans holding down the 5th. Adam Chapman. Jeff Hollingsworth. Bates, Bostaine, and Cooper Bennett rounding out your top 10. Getting ready to send them off here for 150 laps of racing. Waiting for the field to grid up. Drivers meeting to happen. Instructions given out. Guys told where things are going to be. Getting a good view at the field. 1.5 mile track here. Fairly banked. It's going to be a high-speed race, folks, and we've talked about this. Downforce, downforce, downforce. Those wings on those cars are there for a reason. The more air you put on them, the more push that car, the heavier it is on the track, the more grip those tires have, and the quicker you can get around the corner. You'll see guys draft up behind them, but the car right behind one in the draft, he doesn't have the same downforce the one in the lead does. So What's the give and take? Well, folks, the one in the lead is going to get all the downforce. He can get around the corner a little better. The one behind, he's going to have what we call, aero wash. He'll wash up the track a little bit. But when we come down to fuel strategy, when we come down to tire strategy, the guy behind the leader, he's saving fuel. He can stretch that tank a little longer. So fuel strategy comes into play. Everything happens. As the cars now take to the track, following our pace laps. Looking up at the front of the field. My timing and scoring isn't quite keeping up with me there, but Mr. Rick Ravon looks like he's going to lead him off. As we make our parade laps around, looking for that green flag. You'll see the pace car, when it's ready, make that hard turn into left. That hard left turn down into pit lane. And as a good cohort of mine would say, tell Grandpa it's time to pop a Viagra and get it on. Here we come. Green flag, and we are underway here at Chicagoland. Impressive field of cars out there tonight, folks. Rick Ravon leading them around on your first lap. Now my timing and scoring is catching up all the way to the front. Chris Samard making a challenge on the outside to Rick. He's going to take that outside lane, see if he can come across that line first. It's a drag race, folks, coming around lap number 1. Side by side. Robert Dudley just sitting right there in the rocking chair wondering what's going to happen. And your leader is going to be Rick Ravon edging him out. Looks like that low line is going to have the momentum early on. We'll see how long the tires last on these things. Got some good battling going on back in the pack. Oh. If I'm not mistaken, I just saw... Focus back in on our points leader here, Mr. Scotty Brinson. Must have a little contact with the wall. I didn't catch a lap on that one. Timing and scoring having an issue with iRacing tonight, but that's good. We got the race. We got a good one. Rick Ravon still leading him around. Jeff Hollingsworth up to that second spot. Riding that outside lane, holding pace there with Rick. We have a points battle between Scotty and Jeff. Jeff was only 1 point back, so it's all going to matter. How many laps did you lead? And where you finish up. Because those extra little bonus points, they count for a lot. Jeff finished well behind Scott in the last race last week when we were at the road course at the Indy, but he did pick up 3 points on him. He was 4 points behind, now he's only 1. Watching our leader, Rick Ravon, bringing her around. Jeff just holding that outside line. Remember, I was telling you, downforce is key, everybody. You see him looking for a different lane, looking for that traction on those tires to get around. Tried to slingshot. He tried to draft. Now he's trying that outside momentum. It's just not happening. Early on, it looks like the low lane is going to be where you want to be. We'll see how that goes with tire wear. Field comes around working lap 6 of 150. Boy, we're clicking them off fast already. Setting up your top 5. Rick Ravon still holding it down. Jeff Hollingsworth in second. Chris Samard, Michael James, followed by Paul Crumrye. All people in the points chase. Your finishing spot matters, boy. They're giving that respect on the track right now. They're working it. We'll see how long that outside line can hold for Jeff. You guys want to know what it's like to take a ride around here? Oh, we got a little bit of off track there. Let's take a look. I mounted a GoPro on the top of the roll bar of Jeff. It looks like he's just going to hold pace with the leader. No reason to get racy, no reason to get super crazy right now. Going along with Jeff Hollingsworth, started second, worked his way up to, started seventh, worked his way up to second. And you can see a lap around here is 200 plus. That's including the corners, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know what it's like to go real fast, sit inside one of these machines, and that'll tell you. Kustom moving up on the outside. Jeff ducking down to that low lane. See if he can dial up the traction from the low lane, make it stick. But he's in that aero wash behind Mr. Ravon for sure. The pack all starting to straighten out just a little bit. Getting a little bit of racy. Rick still holding that 1/10 to 1.5 second lead. Kustom mounting another challenge to the outside of Hollingsworth. And it looks like Jeff got a little tight, backed out of it. Chris takes that second position in fine fashion, moves it on quick. Checking out your top 10. Rick Ravon, Kustom, Jeff Hollingsworth, Paul Krums, Michael Jeans. Those are your top 5. Look who's worked his way up into 6th there, folks. That would be your points leader, Mr. Scott Brinson. Scotty looking to be having a little bit of a connection issue. Holding down that 6th spot. Started 4th, currently running 6th. Taking a look back up to the front of the field, Rick Ravon still leading them around. Coming around, work lap 13 of 150, and caution is out. Caution is out. Looked like Timothy Bates. Yeah, let's see if we can back up and see what happened there. Keeping our eyes on the 26 car, Timothy Bates. Oh, come down one more time. Let's take a look at that from his point of view, folks. That didn't look too pleasant. Yep, either he come up or the other car come down. Crash, bang, boom. Timothy, pit side with it. Had to tow, take it around. Coming back up to your leader. See if he's going to bring up pit side or if he's going to stay out. Ah, what a rough one for Timothy Bates. Byron Rodney sitting up here in the booth with ESBN. Going to send a shout out to Mrs. Bates. I know that she's going to be joining the watch party afterwards. Not going to say anything about her first name because I wasn't given that. Mrs. Bates, you can blame Tim. How's that? Looking for the field. Looks like everyone's bringing her down pit side. They must know something we don't know. Everyone looking for those fresh 4 tires. Everyone looking for those... Rick Ravon leading them down. Everyone looking for a fresh go fast. So when they press on the loud pedal, it will go. Everyone looking for a fresh set of tires. Rick Ravon looks like he's going to beat them all off of pit road, followed by Kustom. Running our first caution, working lap 14 of 150, and we shall be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to Chicagoland here in Joliet, Chicago. Lights are out on the Porsche pace cars. He leads them back around. He takes that hard left turn into pit lane. Mark Walker stayed out. So he's going to lead them down past that thing. Green. And I need to bring her back live because we're back under caution. Caution number 2. That's my bad, folks. Things can happen up here in the booth. I just added a new screen to the studio, so still getting used to the layout of it. Caution number 2, lap 17 of 150. Your leader out there, Mr. Rick Ravon. Leading him around, Chris Samard, Mark Walker, Michael Jeans, and Paul Krums are rounding out your top 5. Mark Walker, he held it out there. He didn't pit that last pit cycle with everybody else. He stayed out to lead a lap, gained those bonus points for leading. He brings it pit side this time. So everyone will be out there on an equal footing. See how many laps we're going to be running on these tires. I don't know what a fuel run is going to be here. Strategy is going to figure key. Lights are still on the Porsche pace car. Paces them around the field. Don't get around this track as fast as they do when they're under, we'll put it this way, when the green flag comes out and they get fired off in anger. Here in Chicagoland, get a good look down on the track. You can see those cars, you know, when it comes to passing here, let me tell you something. It's all about that air and that downforce. You can see the car doesn't look as wide as the track. Nowhere near. You can figure, oh, I can go low, I can go high, I can go all the way around. Trust me, folks, as a driver myself, I can tell you, people in front can make that 5-foot wide car feel 15 feet wide. It's one thing to catch them, something totally different to get around them. Rick Ravon leading them around still. Lights are still on the pace car. It means we're going to get one more lap. One more, check it out. One more, we'll see what happens. As they work it down the back straight, everyone in single file, everyone getting impatient. This is the time that you sit back, you kind of stretch your fingers a little bit. Kind of take a moment to go, whew. Pace car bringing him around. Lights should go off as he crosses the start-finish line. We get a nice view of him coming around on a parade lap. You should see those lights cut out when that pace car gets across that start-finish line. That's a signal to the driver, folks. 1 to go. We're getting a green flag next time around. Time to, you know, step on that loud pedal and get up and going through the gears. See a couple more takers on pit road, topping off on fuel. Strategy is going to play into it, but strategy, you can have the best strategy in the planet. You can have the top strategy in the planet. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter if the great equalizer called the caution comes out. Lights are out on the pace car. Coming around turn 2, heading down the back straight. Chris Samard and Rick Ravon holding it down. Rick Ravon, your leader. Chris Samard in second. Your leader electing to take the inside lane. So far, from what we've seen, inside lane is the place to be. We're going to get the green flag here, coming around turn 3, turn 4 complex. Green flag's going to go in the air. We'll see how long Rick decides to hold him down. One heck of a racer. I raced with him last night, and yeah, Iowa was not my friend, we'll put it that way. Pace car, lights are out. Look for the pace car to take that hard left into pit lane. And Mr. Ravon holds the button, and he is off, hammered down. Puts a nice gap on Kustom. It looks like he was sleeping at the wheel there. Michael Jeans diving down that low lane up into second place, followed closely by Jake Chapman. Guys coming up, getting that draft. Looking to draft up on around him. Will Michael Huff that momentum on that outside lane? Almost touch wheels as it come around. I see Scotty Brinson up there in fourth having a couple of connection issues, but he's always one quietly to work his way up to the front of the pack. Look for him to stay there. Working lap 22 of 150. Rick Ravon starting to straighten it out, stretch it out a little bit. 2.5 on him. He looks into his rearview mirror. He's got to see two side by side right behind him and be the happiest guy on the planet. Now we see Jake Chapman look for that high lane momentum. Is he going to have the grip? Is he going to have the traction and the momentum to get around him? Man, it looks like Rick is just, you're going to have to get a shovel to root him out of that low lane. He's like, I've found my happy place and I'm going to stay right here. Oh, Mr. Brinson blinking in and out, having connection issues. I hate to see that. It is an online racing simulation, folks. You can have connection issues. It can drop you out, and it can have championship implications. Because if I look back into our 12th place, there's Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. He came in only 1 point behind Scotty for the championship. Looks like connection issues settle down for Mr. Scotty Brinson. He's holding down 9th place. Jeff Sack there in 3 places behind in 12th. All of this taking place. Folks, throw a blanket over your top 10. All your top 10 are less than 1 second apart on the track. Top 10 looked like Rick Ravon out there leading them. He's bringing it around from the top spot, still holding down that bottom lane. Michael James working that outside lane, trying to get around him. Jake Chapman in third, Adam Baker in fourth, Kustom, Keith Maiato. Dan Neese moved up to 7th place. Scotty Brinson falling back to 8th. Cameron Bostaine and Timothy Bates. Timothy, after that early incident, working his way back up to the 10th spot. Good job, Tim. As we take a look around the track, you can see the pack of angry buzz of bees working behind him. Rick just stretching it out. As long as he sees that side by side behind him, folks, he's a happy camper. He is a very happy camper. Working lap 28 of 150. 14 laps on those tires, folks. 14 laps coming out of that fuel tank. We're going to see how far I can stretch it. If we stay green, we stay clean and green, you're going to see pit stops take place. Let me tell you about pit stops here. Pit stops need to be spot on. You can win it, you can lose it coming in for your pit stop. You need to hit your marks, get in your pit perfect, get those 4 tires, get that fresh fuel, and make it out, all while not speeding and collecting a penalty. And a matter of 0.2 of a second. Let me show you what 0.2 of a second happened to look like. You see your leader up there on the bottom lane, Mr. Rick Ravon. You see the 4th place car, the blue and white car back there? That's what 0.2 look like as we have another caution out. Don't know what happened there. Derek Pemberton back onto the pit lane. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. Oh, I see someone going tumbling. Focusing up on Derek. Looked like he just got twitchy tight up to the wall. Could not hold it down. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to go for a ride there. Let's take a look on what we call the vomit cam. GoPro taped to the roll bar. Oh, got a little tight. Just couldn't hold it down. Up to the wall and up and over. And Barrel rolling it through the air. Hello. Yeah, that one hurt. Back on pit lane. He's in pits. Hopefully he's got his fast prepared and he's going to get that. Focusing back over to the front of the pack. Let's see if anyone's going to have another taker on pit lane. I don't know how tires are here, what the tire wear was. I didn't get a chance to get any pre-interviews with the drivers. Tire wear must be significant. 14 or 17 laps on a stint. They're saying, hey, give me 4 fresh fuel goods. Let's get it into the pits, get 4 tires, fresh fuel, and get out. Rick Ravon leading the charge down through there. Let's stay focused on Rick. Watch that first pit timer there, folks. You're going to see how fast it is to put 4 tires and a tank of fuel in these things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look for him down and away. There it is, 8.1. But Adam Baker with a 8.6, 7.8, 0.8 of a second, folks. Lost you that bit of real estate on pit lane. So, new leader coming out, Adam Baker. Paul Krumreich. I want to say thank you to Paul Krumreich as we're racing Krums Kustom Graphix, the Blues Brothers 225 here in Chicago, 150 laps. Working caution number 3, lap 32 of 150. 2 lead changes, 3 cautions, and you just saw the lead change happen on pit road, folks. We're going to see if Paul and Kevin stayed out as well. Kevin O'Brien in the 184 car, he's bringing it pit side. Paul says, you know what? I'm going to work a little different. You guys did this, I'm going to do that. Strategy, folks. Strategy, strategy, strategy. Michael Jeans made it off of pit road before Rick Ravon, so that's your second place car working under caution. Rick's rolling around third right there. So he's going to be taking the inside lane on the restart. We'll see if he can hold that inside lane, take that spot back. And when Mr. Paul Krumreich has to come to pit lane for some fresh fuel goods, when he runs out of fuel, we'll see how that works out. See if he can get back to the point or not. Led a bunch of laps, Rick did. But Paul out there leading them around. Lights are still on the pace car, so Paul still has that option, bring it down pit road. If he just stayed out to lead a lap and gain some extra bonus points, because if you remember, folks, Paul's right there in third place, tied with Chris Simard, or fourth place, tied with Chris Simard in points. Championship's on the line, so where you finish and how many you lead and when you lead, it's all stacks up. Looks like the drivers are starting to line up. They're starting to sort themselves out as we come around turn 3-4 complex, come around towards the start-finish line one more time. Lights are out in the pace car. You'll see them all line up side by side. We're going to take the green. We're going to come back to the green with your top 10 looking like this. Paul Krumreich, he stayed out. He's leading the pack. We'll see how the restart goes for him. Are fresh tires going to outrun him on the start, or is he going to spin the tires on the restart? We'll see. Michael Jeans come out of the pits ahead of Rick, who's in third. Adam Baker fourth. Chris Simard in fifth. 6th through 10th, Dan Neese, Jake Chapman, Scotty Brinson, Keith Maiato. That's another one to look out. He's in the championship mix. And Cameron Bostaine, folks. Working down the backstretch, waiting for the pace car to take that turn into pit lane. As here they come around turn 4. Pace car looking to take that hard left into pit lane off our third caution. Working lap 30, coming to lap 35. We'll take the green again. Paul Krumreich has the button, and they are off. Field comes around. Paul Krumride leading the pack, got a heck of a jump. Wonder if he caught Rick sleeping, but there's an angry hornet's nest of racing going on back here. Rick looks like he managed to get around Michael. Michael fell back another one because Adam Baker snuck up into the mix too. And here we go, folks. We're going to have a race for the lead. Fresh tires versus 17-lap old tires. Oh! Oh, gosh, that was a heartache. Take a look at that again. Caution is back out, folks. As Rick Ravon looks like he drafts up into him. Take a look at that from his point of view. Back that up one more time. Here we go. It looks like he drafts up on the back of Paul. Moves to that outside. For some reason, Paul just comes up right up. Oh! Sharing the same space. Don't know if that was net code or not. Oh, poor Rick. I feel for the guy. Well, we do have a fast repair in here. We do have time to get her fixed. There you see Rick back on pit lane. Looks like he's going to have to take that fast repair and roll back out. That's going to leave your top spot driver, Mr. Adam Baker, out there in the lead. Chris Samard holding down second. Michael Jean, Scotty Brinson moved up to fourth. Jake Chapman at fifth. Dan Neese, Keith Maiato. Jeff Hollingsworth at eighth. You know what, folks? I always call for a driver to watch in a race, and I'm going to tell you, Jeff Hollingsworth tonight, that's my driver to watch. Slowly, quietly, working his way up to the front. Because we have a points battle going on from Scotty Brinson and Jeff Hollingsworth, separated by a whole whopping gap of 1 point. Lights are on the pace car. Working lap 38 of 150, and we shall be right back. Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway, everybody. Still working under caution, working lap 39 at 150. ESBN, the Esports Broadcasting Network. Byron Rodney up here in the booth, bringing you action from the Top Fuel IndyCar Series. We got a championship run going. We got championship points on the line. Your fourth place driver right now, Mr. Scotty Brinson, he leads it. But in eighth place, just a mere 4 places behind him, that's your buddy, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth, only 1 point behind in the championship standings. As we race the Krums Kustom Graphix Blues Brothers 225 from the Chicagoland Speedway at Joliet, Illinois. If you want to know why it's called the Blues Brothers 225, if you don't make that connection with Joliet and Joliet Jake, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out on something. You're missing out on something good and something special. Looking at the field, working around the track. Focusing in on your leader, Mr. Adam Baker up there. As they start to form up, They're going to be getting the one to go when they come around to the start-finish line. Yep, as they pass, they're working on around towards the back straight, starting to form it up. Big field of cars here, folks, here in the Chicagoland. A lot of good racing going on all over the track. We've been paying attention to the race within the race, the points chase. We've been paying attention to the front of the pack, the leaders. Lights are out on the pace cars. He takes it down, turn 3 and 4. They are formed up. We're going to be getting the one to go here. We are on the one to go. We're going to be getting the green flag. Adam Baker down in that low lane. He's got the button. Watch that pace car. There goes the hard left turn. How long's Adam going to hold him down? Adam says, I ain't holding him down at all. Hit the loud pedal. I'm gone. Green flag. Stretches out that lead to 0.3 seconds already. And you can see Michael Jeans all over the tail of Chris Samard looking for that traction, looking for that downforce. Guys are working on coming up to 10 laps on their tires and their fuel. Longest we've seen them out there on the track was 18, so we're going to see how long a fuel's going to last them. Are they going to be screaming for tires long before they run out of fuel? Boy, we're racing for the lead, folks. Adam Baker holding them down. He's on that low lane. We saw earlier from Rick Rewa, man, it looked like the low lane was the place to be. And if you can hold it with your tires and the downforce you're getting by being the lead dog in the pack, well, guess what? That's the place to be as we see Chris Samard moving up, looking for that high lane momentum. No one going with him, no drafting help. Looks like the bottom lane's going to clip him. He might just lose that second spot to Jake Chapman. High lane's starting to form up. We're starting to get a little bit of pack racing here. A little bit in the draft, but you start putting these cars in pack racing, it turns ugly. Tail ends want to swap ends with the front ends. That's called loose, folks. No traction, no downforce. Coming around, working lap 44 of 150. Adam Baker still holding down your lead. Jake Chapman giving it everything he's worth on that outside lane. You got to wonder how long he's going to hang out there before he decides to just fall in and mark some time. Guys not getting too racy, not getting too involved in it. Scotty Brinson still holding back your points leader, still holding back in the 6th spot. And look at that, right on his tail is Keith Maiato, who is also in the championship mix. But Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth looks like he's worked right up into behind Scotty. He's moved up, claimed that 7th spot. He's on that down spot. And folks, joining me up here in the booth right now, someone who we were watching work this race and work this race good, worked on that bottom line that was going to need a shovel to get him off, and somebody found a big shovel. Mr. Rick Rewa, how you doing?
Pretty upset right now. You know, I got together with Krumrai. I thought I gave him enough room going into turn 1, and I guess, I don't know, maybe I didn't look at the replay yet, but I thought I gave him room. And we just got tied up and shot me into the wall, and
we caught a good look at that from several angles. It looked like Paul, for some reason, after he stayed out on that, everyone came in and took tires and fuel. He stayed out. It was 18 laps old on those tires. Looks like he just got super tight coming on that dog leg and just washed right up into you for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Like I said, I didn't see the replay, but I'm just picking up the race right now, and it looks like we're gonna have a good race for the lead right now. And you know what? I got stuck in the pits, by the way. It's an iRacing glitch, apparently.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Waited about 3 minutes. You know, I had my fast repair, and I figured I'd get going, but I got stuck in the pits, so I couldn't get out.
Oh, man, we were watching you. We saw you take that fast repair. I was wondering why you weren't coming out. I was thinking penalty. I was thinking something happened. I figured, oh, boy, well, iRacing at it again. As we got a great race going on for the lead. We got Jake Chapman surrounded by Adam Baker and Michael Jeans. And, Rick, I got to ask you, as a driver out there on that track, was that low lane the place to be if you were the lead dog?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you kind of had to know how to work the low line, because if you don't work the low line correctly, somebody could blast by you up top if they keep their momentum up. So you really had to, you can't just get down there and run because you'll push up. So you really have to know how to run it down there. And it looks like Adam Baker's doing a pretty good job down there.
Yeah, well, Adam, he just lost the lead. Jake Chapman made a heck of a move. Chapman was, or Adam did have the lead. Chapman made a slingshot move down low to get underneath him, but going into the corner. And now Jake's just holding down that low lane. Adam's all over his rear wing, followed hotly by Chris Samard, Michael Jeans, and Scotty Brinson moving up to 5th. That's the race within the race, folks. Scotty Brinson and Jeff Hollingsworth, 1 point separating them in the championships. 13 points back from Scotty is Keith Maiato and Paul Krumry and Chris Samard, both tied for 4th in the points, 69 points off the leader. This thing's wide open for everyone.
Look at Champion and Baker side by side, once again going into turn 1. Now, Champion is going to try to hold that low line just like I was doing, and I was able to do it successfully. But watch. You're watching Adam Baker now. He's going to try to run it up top and keep the momentum up. And it looks like Champion is going to be able to hold on to it. Champion knows what he's doing. He's very experienced, and he's a very savvy driver, so he should be able to hold on to the lead. And then after about 8 to 10 laps, the arrow push starts to come in for the guys that are behind the leader, and you'll see Champion pull away.
Well, let's take a look at the GoPro I taped to the top of the roll bar up on Adam's car. You'll see Adam Baker side by side, taking it down the backstretch, taking it into the turn. Looks like he's got the lead. Washes just a bit. That low lane holds him, but yeah, I can see the low lane drift up in front of him a bit. He catches that slingshot draft and just does not get enough momentum to get around him in the corners.
Now here's the thing, in a couple of more laps, if Baker doesn't stay to the outside, if he ends up falling behind Champion, he's going to be in big trouble, like right here. Now, well, wait a minute. Now Champion's going to go back down low. See? Baker's got to stay outside. Otherwise, he has no shot. Once he gets in that arrow push, he's dead meat.
Yeah, we had a big conversation about that earlier in the before the race about aero, why these cars have wings and how these rings work. And Adam just working it for all he's worth on that outside lane. He's trying to bring Chris Samard with him, maybe a little bit of drafting, but pack racing, like I said earlier, in these cars doesn't really equal out because you take all the downforce off of those wings and you lose your handling in a hurry.
Yeah, Champion's in the same position. Look at this. Here he comes. Here comes Baker. He's going to take another shot. This time he got a good draft on the outside. Now, if he could keep his momentum up, and Chris Samard is right behind Baker trying to make it work behind him on the 3rd lane out there. This is really getting interesting. These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I expect the Champion's going to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, that low lane seems to be where you need to dial it up. Champion out there on 25-lap old tires.
Champion had to breathe it right there, Byron. And here he comes. Baker, he might have it. Now he's got to keep his momentum up.
We got a drag race down the backstretch, folks. Here, Joliet. Oh, looks like he might have that momentum. If he can carry it around a dog leg, he'd hold it. But dang, Champion just grabs that low lane. He just seems like he hits another gear, and he is gone.
Champion breathed it coming off turn 2. I think he might have started pushing up just a little bit, and Baker was able to take advantage of that. And again, they're side by side, and Baker's edging out in front. He's got to keep that momentum up, though, Byron.
Yep, he is losing that momentum. Every time he hits that turn 4, looks like he has to back out of that throttle, burp it just a bit, as we call it, to hold that car down so he doesn't wash up. But he's still holding down that top spot. Here comes Baker looking for that spot around him again on that outside. You got to wonder how long they're going to push it. 27 laps on their tires, 27 laps out of the Go Fast tank. So we'll see how long it goes to see how far these guys want to push it on fuel and tires.
Well, you see, Baker's doing the right thing. He's staying outside of Champion. If he gets behind him in the corner, he's going to push up. He's going to lose all his momentum, and then he's dead in the water.
Boy, back and forth. Adam, Champion, Adam. My scoring is going back and forth on my scoring.
He might have him this time, Byron.
Yep, he's got the momentum, pulls him down the back straight. But when we hit that turn 3, turn 4 complex, that's where that low lane just carries a little bit more. He just can't quite hold that momentum on the outside. Oh, here we go. Who's going to make it to the start finish? Bam! New leader, Adam Baker.
And then Champion takes over once again as they head through turns 1 and 2. But look at this. Baker, he's got Simard right behind him, and he's got a good push going into 3.
Yep, and Simard looking to see how far he can bump draft. Well, you can't bump draft with these things. See how far he can push in the draft. Simard, Dan Neese, Michael James, Keith Maiato all have a front row seat to what's going on here in this, because you can take a blanket and throw them right over the top 5.
This is a fascinating battle. Boy, this is good stuff. Top Fuel Racing, I'll tell you what. It's never boring here.
No, it is not. It is never, ever boring. And, God, sorry to see what happened to you on that deal with Krumrai. It looked like tight, washed up, bam. That inside line didn't hold for Paul on those older tires. But glad you joined me up here in the booth. Makes for a fun call. It makes for fun watching, man. We got a 3-way battle for the lead happening. We got a 3-way going on.
That sounds interesting.
Adam Baker, Jake Champion, and Chris Simard. Working that just all over. Here we go. He works that draft, goes for the slingshot on the outside. Chris Simard looks like he's going to follow Adam on the outside lane.
Oh, they almost touch.
Right in his tire tracks. The way Champion took the lead was right here. He ducked low out of that draft. And Adam didn't choose to do that. That's how Adam got past, and Jake took that lead to start.
I'm just fascinated by this battle, Byron. Look at this, and he might get to the inside this time. No, he's going to back off. I can't believe it.
Back
away. He had an opportunity there.
Yeah, he did, but maybe he's backing off. Maybe he's cooling those tires. Like I said, we are on lap 33 of fuel and tires. We've got to wonder how long can a tank of fuel last here, how long before they're screaming for 4 good feel goods, and how long before we see some green flag stops.
It's over now. It's over. Jake Champion's going to hold on to the lead until the next yellow flag or the next pit stop because he was able to cross in front of Baker, and now Baker's got that arrow push behind him, and there goes Champion. He's off and running.
Yep, Champion to the point. Chris Simard, he got around Adam Baker, so he has moved up to the 2nd spot. Adam Baker rolling in 3rd, Michael James in 4th, and Dan Neese holding out a quick 5th. Tell me, are they using the apron in that turn there, Rick?
I'm sorry, I was listening to the radio there. What was your question?
Oh, it looked like guys were using the apron coming onto that turn 2 there.
No, let me tell you something. If you get on that apron 1 inch, you're going around. Well, look at this. Chris Simard's going to give it a shot. He's closing in.
Chris Simard, he is on the outside, just right there, neck and neck. My timing shows them dead even. Chris Simard, 3/100ths of a second off of the lead. Working that outside lane, seeing if Jake can hold that down low or if Chris is going to go to the point. Like I said, folks, we got a points battle going on, a race within a race here.
Oh, yeah. You got to remember something. Chris Simard has been in that 3rd lane and just staying with them in the draft, but he's been saving his tires. He might have a
caution
slight
comes
advantage.
out. Caution comes out. Looks like Connor Ojeda, something happened with him. Let's go back and see if we can find out. I see Connor. Looked like he'd come out of the pits. Didn't come out of the pits. Don't know what happened there.
You know, the yellow flag was out for about, it seemed like 10 or 15 seconds, and these 2 leaders were still on the gas all the way up to the start-finish line as if they were racing back to the caution.
Oh, wow. Taking it back live. You got to figure they got to come down for fuel and tires here. 37 laps on this stint. And here comes Jake Chapman leading the pack down pit road. We'll see how long it takes on a pit stop, folks. We saw it doesn't take very long. We focused in on you, Rick, when you made that pit stop where you lost first place in the pits, where it only took 0.2 of a second to, 0.6 of a second cost you a spot. Real estate on the track, it was hard to gain.
Well, that's true, and I remember Michael Jeans also got me in the pits too. These guys, they like to burp the gears a little bit. It gives you a little bit of a boost on the pit lane. I'm not real crazy about doing something like that. I'm always afraid. I got a penalty once doing that.
Yeah, looks like Jake Chapman's going to lead him off in pit road. The whole angry pack comes back around.
Looks like Jake Champion's the first one out of the pits.
Yep.
Well, Mike Randy stayed out.
7-second pit stop altogether.
So it's going to be Jake Champion, Chris Simard. Looks like Dan Neese got out in third. Keith Maiato, last week's winner at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, is going to be the next one out. And then Jeff Hollingsworth, the contender for the championship with Scott Brinson, then Timothy Bates, Chris Walker, and Scotty Brinson, the other contender in the top two for the championship.
3 places separating Hollingsworth from Brinson. And, oh, man, 1 point in the championship standings. That is it. 1 point. If you want to see, I've already put it up, folks. You've already seen it. There you go. Your championship points. Look, the top 5. The top 5, folks. I'd say go as far to say the top 6 have a shot at winning. 6 might need the first one to have a bit of bad luck, but I'll tell you what, top 6, it's going to come down to a great finish on this season. Can't wait to bring it all to you.
I just hopped back in my car to see if it would start. Still won't start, so.
All right, folks, we're working under caution. Lights are on the pace car, and we will be right back.
Can I talk? Are we clear?
Nope. Now we can. No.
Are we clear? Yeah, I mean, hey, if you don't want me in a booth, just let me know. No, I kind of figured you would, instead of being up here all alone. Yeah, you know what? I apologize, man. I wasn't live. I was about 15 seconds behind, damn it. So my call wasn't accurate. Why? How often do I have to do that?
Back at Chicagoland. Here we are. If you picked us up talking back in the booth while commercials were running, folks, you know what? I'm new at this. Give me a break, man. But, yeah, newest member of ESPN Broadcasting, Byron Rodney. We're watching the Krums Kustom Graphix Blues Brothers 225 from Joliet. And I said earlier, if you don't know what the tie-in between Joliet and Blues Brothers is, go see Joliet Jake. Coming around to turn 3-4 complex, the Porsche pace car has him in tow. Look for him to take that hard left. There he goes off the pit lane. Chris Simard, or Jake Chapman, your leader. Here he punches a button. He says, I'm out of here, guys. Hammered down, loud pedal to the floor. Let's get it on racing.
Champion got a real good jump on Simard. Simard kind of blew it. He actually had about half a car length in front of Champion when the green flag came out. But Champion was able to get a nice lead there. But look at this. Here comes Dan Neese.
Yeah, and look at the two teammates in Simard and Maiato right behind him in third and fourth, with Simard ducking down and below, getting in right behind Jake Chapman, and his teammate Maiato on the high lane behind Dan Neese.
Jake Champion is playing it exactly the way he should be, but look at behind him.
Oh,
how close
God.
Neese and Simard got. Wow.
Top 3 just racing under a blanket, folks. And if I'm not mistaken, did you just take a look at that 4th place car sneak right in there? Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. And look to the apron, back up on
look
the track.
Brinson all the way
there
down
goes
Oh,
Brinson,
wow.
yeah.
And it works for Scotty as he's able to pick up a couple of positions.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to grab more holding that bottom line. Jeff Hollingsworth trying to make that car as wide as possible. Scotty having a little bit of connection issues, but that hasn't held him back. Hollingsworth, I got to tell you, was my driver to watch for this race. Watching Hollingsworth back in here, let's take a ride with him in the car. Moving on up to the GoPro tape to the top of the roll bar. You can see how close this racing is. Jeff working that bottom lane to top lane to bottom lane, trying to hold off Scotty if he's running right behind him.
Yep, this is pack racing. Pack racing on a 1.5 mile track here. Oh, look how close they got again.
Gosh.
Wow.
If they did, I'll tell you what, a piece of paper wouldn't have survived in between them on that one right there. Jeff Hollingsworth holding down that fourth spot. Just Scotty Brinson, he's down there in sixth, moving along with Scotty, taking a ride with him. You can see Jeff right off to his port quarter there. And, Scotty, connection issue, and back again. Well, that's been plaguing him. We do this as an online league, and connection issues kind of hurt sometimes.
Yeah, Scotty always seems to have connection issues ever since he moved.
Yeah, there you see it go again and come back. Focusing back in on the race within the race. Fourth place, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth, rolling that outside line. Right behind Chris Samard, rolling his tire tracks. Rick, as a driver, he's been out in this track. You're reeling in this pack racing. You're, say, 4th or 5 cars back. How is that aero affecting you?
Well, at this point, it's not really too bad. Like I said before, once you get around 8 to 10 laps into this run and the tires start falling off a little bit, it starts to wear them out, and you're going to start pushing like crazy, and then eventually the leader is just going to pull away because he's got nobody in front of him.
And the next money question that I have is, did you get a gauge on how long is a fuel run on this tank of fuel that they carry?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I was really focused on qualifying runs during the practice, and so I didn't stay out there for a full fuel run.
Jake Chapman's still holding down the point, but Dan Neese is right on him. And as close as those guys get, they're not in the championship top 10, but the next bunch behind them are. You got to wonder if there's a pucker moment there for Samard and Hollingsworth and Brinson.
Trying to monitor the chat at the same time I'm watching this great battle for the lead. Scotty Brinson, league owner, just said, there it goes again. I think he might be referring to his connection.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see the connection quality up here with the broadcast rolling out of my computer, but I can tell you, Scotty has been flashed in and out. And you see it when I lose camera angle on him, just like that right there and back like that right there. He's in and out. And folks, as a driver, it's also hard because when he comes back in, if you happen to be sharing the same space, it's not a happy place to be.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you, when you're driving, as you're out there racing, if somebody's in front of you and they start to blink, you want to talk about a pucker moment, because something like that could take you out, and it's no fault of the driver in front of you at all. It's the connection.
Yep. Focusing back in on your top 5. Look at that. Throw a blanket over the top 6 all in one frame there, with Scotty being the number 6. Hollingsworth in 5th. Look at that low lane, man. Timothy Bates working up to 4th. We saw Timothy had to take his fast prepare very early in the race. Worked his way back into the 4th place. One hell of a driver there.
Look at this battle. Jeff Hollingsworth just said, damn it, over his radio. Not sure what he's complaining about, but it's a 3-way fight for the lead, Byron. Look at Chris Samard all the way up by the wall.
Folks want to take a good look at it from the top down, man. Right along in the blimp, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 8 of them right there, and then you get a little bit of a gap to 9th. But, yeah, it's an angry hornet's nest, and I can understand Jeff probably getting frustrated. Having 3 wide in front of him, he's got nowhere to go. Make that 4 wide in front of him as Jeff falls down to 5th place.
I'm actually surprised that Jake Champion has not been able to pull away at this point, because the tires should definitely be wearing by now, and that aero push should be coming into effect.
Got to make you wonder, as we work the 16th lap of this stint, as they've been out on the tires, got to be wondering, maybe is he holding something a little back, not trying to run away from him so he can save a little bit of goodie for when it counts?
Well, it could be, but you know what? The field is starting to spread out now. As you look back, you can see Neese still sticking at the right rear of Champion, but behind him, they're starting to spread out. So here comes that aero push.
Yeah, I'm also starting to believe it might be time to just ride. And because you have one more money stop. By my calculations, everyone's got to make one more stop before they hit the end of this race, working lap 87 at 150, coming to lap 88, across the start-finish line. Taking a look at Champion and Neese back and forth. just hammer and tong with that. Now I see Champion roll up to that top lane. Nice, stuck up behind him as Chris Samard dives it in down low.
Chris Samard was really hoping that Champion would stay wide, but Champion saw him coming, and he protected that low line just like he should.
Folks, I've said it a million times if I've said it once. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. It's one thing to catch him. Totally different getting around him.
Especially on a 1.5-mile track like this. And the way these IR-18s are set up this year, you've got that aero push, so it makes it very, very difficult to pass.
Yep. It's the race before the race, folks. We go to Indianapolis next week, the Indy 500 with the Top Fuel Racing League. It is going to be a barn burner scorcher.
Yes, it is. And now you're looking at Champion. He's starting to play that aero push right. Watch what he does, and you're going to see Chris Samard in second place is going to start falling back, and Dan Neese is already starting to fall back. So Champion has a real advantage now that these tires are starting to wear because he's in clean air.
Yeah, you see Chris Samard working that outer lane, and I've said it before, as we watch these things, guys will go into the turns, you'll see, look at that block, we might have a new leader.
We're going to have a new leader here, Byron.
Yep.
Here comes Samard.
Samard
starts to push up. Oh, they close coming off 4.
Oh, they're looking for that traction, folks. They're looking to see who leads them down. Jake Chapman takes that lap. Chris Samard to the inside. As we have caution. Caution is out on the track. Who brought that caution out?
Whoever it was just disappeared. At least on my screen. Looks like maybe Jeff Clark. He's got a bent up front wing.
Let's take a look at Jeff Clark. Let's go back and take a look at the replay before the caution come out. Jeff Clark rolling solo around, working through 3-4 complex, or 2-3 complex, going down to the back straight. Don't see anything in front of him or behind him.
He must have incurred that damage before the yellow came out.
Taking a look. Oh, something happened up in front before him, or someone flashed out. Oh, well. Going back live, taking a look at our leader, Jake Champion. Let's see if they elect to come to pit road. I don't think, by my math, we've got 57 laps to go in this race. And I don't know if they can stretch a tank of fuel 57 laps.
Neither do I. I didn't get that far.
Well, we're about to find out, folks, because Jake Champion, he leads them all the way down pit lane.
This stop is critical.
Let's take a look. As the cars hit their pits, Jake is the first one in his pit. He hits his marks. He does it right. That should be a 7-point-something pit stop. 7.9, and Jake is gone.
Let's watch as they come to the line. It looks like, Jake's going to beat out Samard.
Yep.
He got him. And then it's
somebody's spinning it off of pit lane. Almost didn't clean out. That looked like might have been Sam Cooper Bennett. Something happened there. We'll have to go back and take a look, maybe. Your leader, folks. Your leader, folks. Kevin O'Brien, staying out on tires, staying out on fuel. I'm assuming Kevin, he's in the championship chase. He's 115 points back from the lead in the championship. He's currently holding down the 8th spot in the championship points. You got to imagine he stayed out to lead a lap and get those bonus points.
Well, it's possible, but if he has any chance to win this race, I don't know why he would stay out. Oh wait, he's pulling down. He's letting them go.
Yeah,
he's letting them drive by.
Yeah, he's
heading for the pits.
Kevin O'Brien's bringing in the pits. He stayed out to collect those bonus points. Sometimes that's the only way you can get a credit for leading a lap, is and get those bonus points is under caution. But hey, look at your point standings right now. 1 point separating the top two in the championship. If one of them led just one lap in a race that way, that would be an even up race.
Perhaps he felt that he didn't have much of a shot to work his way through the entire field, to collect those big points. So he wanted that bonus point.
Well, he got it. Lights are on in the Porsche pace car, working the backstretch.
Lap 95.
Yeah, we shall be right back.
All right, now I can breathe again. Hey, I got the fan blowing in my face, by the way. You don't hear that wind noise, do you? Oh, boy. I was just going by what Byron said, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Lights out on the pace car, leading them around down the backstretch. We're going to keep the green flag, fire them off under anger. We're going to take the green on lap 97 of 150. That's going to leave us, 53, 54 laps of racing left here, folks, and it's anyone's game. Look for that pace car to make that hard left turn into pit road. As it does right there, Chris Simard, Jake Chapman holding down your front lane. Jake hits the loud pedal and says, I'm gone. Oh, I saw Dan Deese move down a lane before the start-finish line. I don't know the rules of the league, if this is legal or not.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can't pass him before the start-finish line. I don't think that's going to be a problem for Deese because he was still behind when they hit the line.
Yeah, Dan Deese moves it up to second, working the outside of Jake Chapman. Guys, looking at your top 10.
Look at this. Look at this gaggle of cars. It's a restrictor plate race at Daytona.
I cannot even put up the top 10. We are shuffling back and forth on my scoring and timing so much. I see Scotty in. I see Scotty out on connection issues. God, I hope that doesn't ruin his race for him. I wouldn't want to be in the hauler after the race if that's the case.
That would be a shame. So we got somebody just hit the wall back there. It is Robert Dudley. Robert Dudley hits the wall. Is the yellow going to come out? They're scrambling to get around him.
Caution is not out.
And somebody else gets sideways. Who is that? It is Dylan Moskowitz. Moskowitz, no damage to that race car. He continues on, and we stay green.
Take a look at Moskowitz there as he just gets low down on that apron. Back up. Oh, around on the bottom. Moskowitz keeping it straight. Going back up to your leader. Man, caution never came out. Lead pack's gone.
Oh, Champion goes around.
Oh,
Champion
my God.
goes around.
Let's take a look at
what
that.
What happened there?
Caution coming out on the track. Your 7th caution of the race. Let's take a look. We see Champion down low on that bottom lane. It looked like Champion might have had a connection issue.
Oh, no, it looks like there was a little bit of a net code there. Champion came off the corner, and he got, well, he wasn't actually bumped, but there was a net code bump there from behind.
We saw net code take a toll on a driver last week at the road course. We see net code take a toll over here. Jake Chapman, man, what a race he had going up there at the lead. But that leaves Dan Deese up there. Now you got to wonder if that damage model didn't give Dan Deese a little bit of trouble or a little bit of damage on that.
I'm watching live now. I'm looking at Robert Dudley. Robert just passed everybody in the field and pulled alongside Chris Simard and Timothy Bates. I don't know why he did that.
Couldn't tell you.
He's not coming in the pits. That's odd. I can't figure this one out.
Maybe he had something to say with him. I don't know. He wasn't anywhere around there.
Yeah, I don't think he was up near the front of the field. So, and here he comes again. He's coming up behind Bates again. As we got several cars coming into the pits, Byron.
Well, Robert Dudley is the first car lap down, so it to me it seems like he's just jockeying for that spot. Get that lucky dog, go in there and hit the pits.
Looks like Mike Grandy got the lucky dog. Mike Grandy's coming around. He just passed the pace car. He's coming all the way around and back up behind.
You know, hopefully, maybe Dudley was hoping that the leaders would go in and he'd get the wave around on that, but it doesn't look to be the case. As Dan Neese stays out, they're only got 8 laps on their tires. Timothy Bates is second right behind him, followed by Keith Maiato, Adam Baker, and Scotty Brinson holding down your 5th spot. The race within the race we were talking about, let me take it all the way back to the 14th place. Jeff Hollingsworth falling down to P14 and being only 1 point off of the leader, Scotty Brinson, who's holding down P5 right now. 9 positions between them, 9 points. That could mean Scotty stretch it out if the race holds for the last 48 laps.
Yeah, that would work out pretty good for Scotty. Now, Dudley comes into the pits. He's going to get repairs.
Yeah, that was a moment washing up into that wall, boy. It sucks. It's a feeling in the bottom pit of your stomach when you just have no control. The car does not. You turn the wheel and it does not respond.
Still trying to figure out why Dudley was up there with the leaders, tooling around under the yellow flag. I can't imagine that they told Dudley to go around those cars. So that's a mystery to me.
Well, you know as well as I do, working iRacing, the simulation, sometimes the simulation scoring and positioning kind of glitches on you, and you find yourself having to wait for somebody to come around that you were ahead of when the caution came out, or vice versa.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are glitches. That's why I wasn't able to leave the pits when I came in after the tow-in. Still upset about that, man. Can't believe that. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, it just ruins it because you work so hard on the setup. You work so hard in practice. You put so much time into these things to get a good, feel for the car, to be as competitive as you can, and to be the driver that you are. Let's face it. And to get taken out by a glitch halfway or not even halfway into the race has just got to be just. Bleh.
Yeah, it hurts pretty bad, especially considering I think that we had a legitimate shot to win this thing in the Gould Charge tonight. So. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but just got to move on. And Indianapolis is the big one, baby. Everybody wants to win Indy.
Yep, everyone wants to win Indy is right.
Timothy Bates moves up to second place. I don't recall seeing him up near the front, but maybe he short-filled his car,
well,
jumped a couple of guys.
Well, I don't know. After he had that early race crash, he worked his way up from the back of the field all the way back up to that second place. You see him there on the outside of that front lane there. He is on the same tire and fuel strategy as your top 10. Your top 10 are out there on 10-lap old tires. They're working lap 11. There's a couple of them that are on 11 working their lap 12. Everyone else from 11th back has pitted. So we're working 46 laps of this race left to go. I'm sure everyone's going to probably have to make one more stop.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to have to. It's going to be close. I'll tell you what. If they get another yellow, they might be able to stretch it. It's going to be interesting.
Well, that would have to be the fact of, 46 laps to go. They've already got 10 out there. If the 56 laps in the fuel tank, yeah, they might. We don't know. Pace car takes that hard left into pit lane, and
Neese wastes no time on that gas.
Kind of looks like Timothy was sleeping there because he just did not get up to speed on that outside lane. Allows Keith Maiato to duck down underneath in second, followed by Adam Baker to third, with Timothy falling back to fourth, with Brinson bringing up fifth strong.
And perhaps the strongest challenger for the lead thus far, we've got Keith Maiato. Boy, is he a contender everywhere they go. He's on the back end of Neese now, and he's looking for the lead, but look at how they're packed up behind. This is amazing.
Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's been like this the whole race. The front of the pack has been, actually, you know, I look for races within the race, you know, to bring you to close racing, the scenes going on. But, oh, my God, we've been focused so far up here on the front because you take a look at them. They are side by side all the way down through the field, starting to string out. But the top 4 are side by side, fifth and sixth, just saying, which way do we go?
I'm looking at Jeff Hollingsworth. He's fallen all the way back to 12th place. And Scott Brinson, he's moved up. Yeah. Brinson is sitting in 5th right now, slow and steady. Yep. You know, that's what wins the race. Scotty, he knows what he's doing.
Scotty, every race that I have broadcast for this league, Scotty, he has stayed low off of the radar, started mid-pack, back of the pack, and slowly but surely works his way to the front. And we're calling his number and name by the end of the race, let me tell you. Couple of races ago, wasn't for a good thing, but we're calling his number and name.
Maiato and Nice almost got together right there. That was close. Good thing there was no net code there.
Yeah. You got to wonder at what point, you know, someone's going to get ballsy enough to make it a 3-wide affair. You know, we are getting close to the point of the race where it's time to hit the scramble button and go.
Oh, yeah, just give it another 20, 25 laps, and it's going to start to get real wild. But the only thing is, and you got to keep this in mind, the longer you go on tires, the more the field's going to spread out, and you're not going to have the close racing that you're seeing right now as Maiato once again in the challenge on the outside, going to try to keep that momentum up. But Can he do it? They're awful close again on the backstretch, trying to get that side draft working is Maiato.
Oh, God, look at that. Your top 10, Dan Nice, Keith Maiato, Adam Baker, Timothy Bates, Scotty Brinson rolling out the top 5. Wubker Samard, Sam Cooper Bennett. Oh, we've seen him go from the outhouse to the in-house. And what happened there with...
Problem with Holyfield. Holyfield's slow, and he's got a bent-up right front wing.
Oh! Back to the front of the pack.
And it looks like Holyfield got loose in turn 4. Wow. And no yellow flag. He took a couple of guys with him.
Oh. Well, he got down off the racing surface and no one coming. iRacing's not going to throw that yellow flag. As we see the battle for there's your top 4 right there, all in one screenshot, folks. Top 4 nose to tail. Whether to go low, whether to go high. Dan Nice, Keith Maiato, Adam Baker, and Timothy Bates. Scotty Brinson holding down that 5th spot. I figured Scotty's just got to be riding going, I'm getting my points.
Chris Walker was also involved in that incident. Chris, I think his day might be done. He's sitting in the pits, and they're not working on that car, Byron.
Now, he might have used his fast repair from earlier in an earlier incident. I go back to 8th place, right behind Jeff Wubker. There's Jeff Hollingsworth, just kind of slowly stalking Wubker, looking to move up. But he's got to get by Samard to get to the back of Brinson and make another race out of it.
Yep, Brinson has fallen back. He's still sitting in 5th place, but he's almost a second back from Timothy Bates, who sits in 4th, and Baker sitting in 3rd. Maiato still challenging Dan Nice for the lead.
Well, you got to be wondering, Scotty's watching these top 4 all just race side by side, front to back, side to side, as close as they are. You wonder if Scotty's going, I'm just going to hang
Look
back
at Scotty
here.
all the way down to the apron.
Yep, that's what I was asking you. Down on that apron on that turn, man. Usually that's death, but look at Scotty making it work.
You could get away with it on the front stretch, Byron, but if you try that in the corners, not going to work. We've seen that already today.
Oh, we felt that.
And look at this. We got a battle between the championship contenders as Hollingsworth comes around Brinson. Where did he come from? He restarted this segment way back there, and I believe it was 12th place. Brinson sitting in 5th, being patient, but Hollingsworth is on a tear, and Brinson starts to fall back again.
Yeah, Brinson flashing in and out. Hollingsworth deciding, you know what, it's time to push it and go. That's the difference right there, folks. Neither one of these drivers have led a lap, and so you're looking at a 1-point difference in track position right there in this race. I do know they hand out penalty points for incidents, and that's going to help tell tale too, but you're looking at, if I went by points right now, if the race ended this moment in time, you're tied for the lead.
Chris Samard is also falling back, and whoa, coming off of turn 2. He almost hits the wall coming off 2. He's sitting there right behind Brinson. Brinson looks like he's struggling, and Hollingsworth is pulling away from him now. And Brinson's got a couple of guys looking to take 6th place away as Brinson, again, all the way down to the apron, almost to the grass. as he comes across that start-finish line.
Man, you got to wonder how hard is he pushing that thing, and we're seeing it just flash in and out, having connection issues, holding on with the skin of his teeth, for this position in this track. But Hollingsworth in 5th, Brinson in 6th. Taking a look back up at your top cars, you still got Keith Maiato challenging Dan Neese for the lead. And Maiato, he's in 3rd in points. He's only 13 points back off of the Scotty Brinson for the championship.
Watching the battle for the lead, Dan Neese, Keith Maiato, just behind them, Timothy Bates and Adam Baker side by side. But again, Jeff Hollingsworth on a tear. He's starting to run those guys down, Byron.
Yes, he is. You can see him dropping in there. He says, knock, knock, boys. Here I come. We come back around over the start-finish line, folks. We got 31 laps left of racing here in Chicagoland at the Krums Kustom Graphix Blues Brothers 225, and I just can't take my eyes off this lead. I can't take my eyes off this lead pair at all.
Can't stay like this forever. I'll tell you what, sooner or later, something's got to give.
When's the last time we had a back and forth this tight for the whole race at the point for a while? We haven't had that in a long time.
Byron, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Brinson just threw it in reverse and lost about 4 spots. I have no idea what happened there.
Well, let's focus back in on Scotty. He's having those connection issues. Yeah, where I lose focus on him. He comes in and out, but he looks like he's just trying to get back up there. I'm showing Scotty in the 12th position. That puts Jeff Hollingsworth up in the 5th, so there's 7 points in between them.
And the battle gets closer.
Going back up to the lead, Dan Neese and Keith Maiato back and forth. Adam Baker kind of hanging back a little bit. I'm showing Adam about 3/10 off the lead. And you can see 3/10 closes up to nothing, but we're going to have lap traffic figure in here very shortly.
Yep, Ron Hollyfield sits just ahead of them. He's still got that bent up. He's got no back wing, and he's got a bent up front wing, and he's still hanging there. But now he drops way below the line on the apron and lets them go. That was a classy move by Hollyfield.
Yep, that's called respect on the track, folks. If he was the first the first one laps down, he could have fought to stay on the lead lap in position, but that's called respect for your other racers. He knows there's a race within the race going on, and he knows there is a race going on. That's a class act by a driver.
Meanwhile, still side by side for the lead, Maiato and Neese. Maiato actually almost had him. I think he may have led that lap, as a matter of fact, but boy,
Maiato
this is a ding-dong battle.
Yep, Maiato to the point. He shows 1 lap led.
They almost touched again.
Maiato's got some balls of steel. He is not letting off of this thing. He is not going to get pushed off of the track side to side or nothing. He's like, boy, I'm here. This is my race. Give it to me.
Just to show you what. Oh, they're close again. They touch it. Maiato's in the wall. Maiato's in the wall and flipping end over end. Can everybody behind him miss him?
Oh, caution is out for the 8th time on the track. Looking at Keith Maiato. Oh, and he just finally finishes his tumble, folks. Let's go back and take a look at that on replay. As you see him shoot up into the wall, up, back, down, side to side. Ladies and gentlemen, that is several fractures, several broken bones in real life. Thank God it's a simulation. Oh my God, what a heartbreaker for Keith Maiato. It's a break for Scotty Brinson, and we have championship implications all over this thing again.
Well, I don't know how Brinson's going to be able to capitalize on this. I don't know what his issues have been, if it's a connection issue or maybe something else. Maybe his tires were going away. I don't know why he started falling back, but he definitely needed this yellow to regroup.
Oh, yeah, he did, because here comes Dan Neese leading a charge down pit lane. Look who's left in second place, Timothy Bates. We take a look at our pit timer. We're going to see who's going to get in and out of here in a hurry. Dan Neese, Timothy Bates, Adam Baker in the 3rd spot, Jeff Hollingsworth. I see them all hit their pits. Let's see who makes it out first.
Chris Samard. Chris Samard has a bent up left front wing. And it looks like, well, he must have used his fast repair to fix that wing. And out of the pits comes Dan Neese.
Yep, Dan Neese going to lead him off the pit road.
But Adam Baker is the next one out, so he's going to be the next challenger for the lead. He's back to the front.
Oh, this is going to get interesting. This is shaping up. 24 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Shaping up to be one hell of a Whew.
Finish?
Yeah. I was going to go to an ad, but you know what, folks? I'm going to stick right here because we got a barn burner going on here.
This is really starting to heat up. I'm really looking forward to this finish. Adam Baker back to the front of the field, chasing Dan Neese for the lead under yellow flag. How many laps do we have left? 25?
24 to go.
24.
We are working lap 127, coming to lap 128 of 150. That's going to leave us 23 to run. We'll probably have, 21 laps of green flag racing when they take the green, and we fire them off under anger once more.
Looking who's behind the pace car, it looks like Mike Grandy sitting in 18th spot. Hollyfield is 19th, and Hollyfield was able to repair his car. Obviously, he had a fast repair left because that car looks as good as new right now.
Yep. After we cycled out through the pits, folks, your top five sitting up here look like this. Dan Neese holding down the top spot. Let's see if he can hold him and keep that angry back off his back. Adam Baker, he's been in the top five all night long. Timothy Bates, what a comeback from that early race wreck. Used that fast repair, worked his way from the back of the field all the way up to the third spot. Michael Jean's fourth. Jeff Hollingsworth, who is your second place points in the championship standings, holding down the fifth spot.
Incidentally, while we're under caution, I just want to mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my good friend Sage Karam, who normally races with us here in Top Fuel Racing, but we all know where he is right now. He's in Indianapolis, and he's been practicing, getting ready for the Indianapolis 500, which will be run next, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yep, we're going to be looking for Sage to do really good. We talked to Sage after winning that race, he had a heck of a race at Indianapolis Road Course last week with us. Oh
yes, I'm sorry. You know what? Incidentally, my apologies, Byron. I mentioned Keith Maiato as last week's winner. What I meant to say was last week's pole sitter. He got the pole. I slipped, slotted behind him in second place on the grid. But Sage Karam was able to run him down from the back of the field in a brilliant display of driving and take that win. So I was wrong when I said he won the race.
Our friend Sajay, he sent us a photo of what he was racing on because he's in
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not his usual rig. I was wondering why he was having some fun trying to get into turn 1 and 2.
Well, that's the reason why he didn't qualify is because he was still setting up that rig.
Well,
he actually brought the computer with him to Indianapolis, but he brought an old wheel with it because he has the wheel that he normally runs was bolted to his desk at home, so he had to kind of piece that thing together as the pace car is about to come in. Byron,
the pace car takes that hard left to pit lane, and Dan Neese
wastes no time.
He pushes the button quick. He says, "Sorry, boys, I'm out of here. Try and follow me if you can." Adam Baker rolling right into his tire tracks. Look for a battle again with Timothy Bates in third and Michael Jeans in fourth, and Jeff Hollingsworth holding down that fifth spot.
There's only this time by. There's going to be 20 laps to go, and Adam Baker certainly he knows what he needs to do. And they're awful close just behind with Bates and Jeans, and around comes Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth around the outside.
Hollingsworth getting a push out of Chris Samard on that outside lane. Man, take your top six, throw a blanket over them, folks. We're going to have a challenge for the top spot right here as Adam Baker's pulling up to the outside corner, pulling up to the outside of Dan Neese. Is he going to be able to keep momentum around that outside lane?
Well, I'll tell you, Dan Neese must be really feeling the pressure. He came as close to that apron and that painted white line as I've seen him run all day long.
Yep, and that painted white line, folks, we know is instant
death.
That would be Timothy Bates, folks. He saves it, keeps it straight, but Timothy Bates falls on back. Let's take another look at that. As Timothy Bates right here, holding down that third spot. Looks like he just got some aero on him. He got a wiggle. He was up on that high lane. He had, touch with Hollingsworth, maybe a bit of net code. Shot him up towards the wall, and the field just overhauls him right there.
Meanwhile, Dan Neese, we didn't see it, but Dan Neese came all the way, Scott Brinson style. He came all the way down to the apron, almost to the grass that time by when they crossed the line, and look who's in second place.
Yep, I was going to say, look who's in second place, because Scotty's sitting back in ninth. Hollingsworth, oh my gosh, he was my driver to watch for the race. I called him.
That was a good pick.
Yep, I called it because he quietly, just like Brinson, man, he can start mid-pack, he can start in the back, but he's going to quietly work his way up. I've seen guys just take the track and manhandle other cars to their way to the front, make it exciting. These guys quietly.
We got a crash, a big crash coming off turn 4. Several cars involved, sliding through the grass. And it looks like Johnny Antonucci's involved, Mark Walker, Timothy Bates also involved.
Let's take a look at Johnny Antonucci here. Looking at that front. Oh, yeah, I hear
Adam
it.
Chapman
bang.
is also involved.
Big crash, big crash.
Mike Grandy. Several cars.
Take a look at that from the blimp. Got one car into the other and back around. Guys just had nowhere to go. You're moving 200 plus miles an hour around this track. You have got nowhere to go. We are under caution for the 9th time. 16 laps left to go in the race. Everyone holding up for the pace car, almost rear-ending everybody. It looks like they want to maybe take it down pit side one last time. Now Dan Neese stays out on the track, but they all waited on that pace car. They wanted to hold it down. Less pace laps, more race laps. You know what I'm saying?
I sure do. I'm just looking at the replay here on my own monitor, and it looks like Adam Chapman was the one that started that whole melee. He got down and touched the apron, and like I said, you can't do that. Not in the corners. On the straightaway, okay. On the corners, stay away.
Now, as a driver in these open-wheel cars, because I'm more of a fender kind of guy, I race the NASCAR series a lot, but you're an open-wheel pro, and as a driver of open-wheel, I got to ask you, working that thing over and over, hitting your marks, how easy is it to mentally lose focus and just drift down below a line, miss that mark by a hair?
Well, you really got to chalk it up to experience, and I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that because I'm a very humble man, but I've been doing this a long time. I don't really get nervous when I'm behind the wheel. This kind of stuff relaxes me. I just enjoy every minute of it. I enjoy the competition. I love this particular league, Top Fuel. In my opinion, it's really a great league. They got a lot of fast guys. Personally, I love it, but chalk it up to experience. If maybe the less experienced guys, you're going to find them getting a little nervous. If somebody like myself or, somebody with a similar experience, not so much. You're able to hold on to that line. You're not really going to make many mistakes.
Yeah, working our 9th caution of the race. We coming over across the start-finish line with 15 to go. Make that 14 to go as they take the start-finish.
We got Adam Baker now is going to be the next challenger for Neese. As long as Neese keeps his cool and stays on that low line, Adam Baker is going to have to get him quick. Hollingsworth, he's going to have to jump up there quick. Michael Jeans, he's going to restart in 4th place. The only shot that these guys really have is they've got to run Dan Neese down within the first lap or two and make a move and make it bold and make it count.
Well, let's take a look at your top 10. Dan Neese leading him right there. Adam Baker sitting right behind him. Your second place point standing, Jeff Hollingsworth, I think he's going to be leaving the race in points lead, rolling down the 3rd spot. Michael Jeans in 4th. Chris Samard holding down the 5th spot. Jake Chapman, we saw him with that spin from the lead, working his way back up to the 6th position. And my cohort at ESPN, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, holding down your 7th spot. Cameron Bostaine back in the 10th spot, 8th spot, 9th. Scotty Brinson and Dylan Moskowitz in your top 10.
Sam Cooper Bennett almost ran into the back of Jake Champion.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be mind-numbing. You're used to turning laps around here at 210 miles an hour, 220, and it gets a little, things happen fast. When you actually slow down to 60 and your mind takes a break and you're stretching those fingers, yeah, your mind can also go, which way do I go? And forget all about it. Lights are out on the pace car as we take it into the turn 1-2 complex, getting ready to work the backside. We're going to go green with 12 laps to go.
And we're looking at Jeff Hollingsworth, well, I'm looking at him anyway on my monitor. He is sitting in 4th place. And then you got to go all the way back to 9th place, and there's Scotty Brinson. Now, Scotty's not the kind of guy to be overly aggressive. However, we're coming into the last handful. We're going to have 12 to go at the line, I believe. And are we going to see Brinson try to make a rocket run from the back? Because he's chasing down Hollingsworth for the championship.
Yeah, that's going to be real interesting to see. Yep. Get ready to have that pit.
I don't know what happened
Porsche
to.
pace
I
car.
was going to say, I don't know what happened to Mark Walker, but he's got a damaged front wing, and he's coming around. He just passed the entire field coming into the pits. I think he may be giving up the ghost.
Yeah, that fast repair is gone as the pace car makes a left-hand turn. Yep, just like normal. Dan
There he
not
goes.
wasting any time saying, "See you guys. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man, and I'm the man right now." Dan needs the point.
This is where Adam Baker, Hollingsworth, if they're going to have any chance at all to take this win, they got to do it now.
Oh, look at the run that Baker's
And
got
here
on
he
the
comes,
outside.
Adam Baker.
Look at the run that Adam Baker has on the outside. They're tightening up nose to tail. Jeff Hollingsworth getting squeezed out, going to the very top of the track up in that 3rd lane. He is right on the tail of Adam Baker, trying to push him.
Oh, we got a spin.
Oh!
Right into the wall. There he goes.
Adam Baker, yep. Let's see if we can see what happened with that one, folks. Did he have a little help? Oh, it looked like he just barely touched, on the side. Maybe some net code. And around and into the wall he goes. Caution number 10.
I'm going to look at this from my monitor, which is separate. Could have been net code. Nope.
No, yeah. Oh, if that wasn't net code, it was barely of a touch. It just sent him up into the wall in the
There
hardest
was a touch in
fashion
net
possible.
code. Definitely was a touch in net code, but he was coming down, and he was coming down pretty quickly on Michael Jeans. On my monitor, they didn't actually touch, but the computer may have thought that they did because of the rate that he was actually coming down.
Man, if that net code, that makes twice tonight, Richter. We've caught net code just dumpster fire somebody's race. But my hat's off to Adam Baker. He's made a strong run the whole night long, but he wasn't the race within the race. He just kind of moved himself out of the way there. Dan Neese still holding down the point. He's not in a championship running. Michael Jeans in second, not in a championship running. But Chris Simard is. Chris Simard is 69 points. He's tied in 4th, 69 points back off the lead. He's holding down your 3rd spot on the track. And Jeff Hollingsworth, folks, 1 point off your leader, holding down P4. But remember what you were saying about making that fly, making that snap, making that move, Mr. Scotty Brinson? Look who's moved up to 7th.
Yep, Scotty Brinson actually caught a little bit of a break because of that incident, and so he was able to move up. And looking back, there's Hollingsworth is sitting in 4th. We're highlighting Hollingsworth because he's one of the 2 main title contenders. And there's Scott Brinson.
When's the last time
sitting in 7th place?
When's the last time, Rick, you've seen a league championship this close, this late in the season? 1 friggin' point.
It's been quite a while, actually. I was out of sim racing for a while, so it's been quite a few years since I've seen a championship this close. And I'll tell you, Scotty Brinson this poor guy's gonna have a heart attack the way this, the last part of this season's been going. It's been up and down and back and forth, and he wants to win that he wants to score that three-peat so bad.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that. But Scotty, and it's a testament to the talent that's driving in this league. If you get down to it, when you can throw a blanket over the top 5, top 6 in this league, to where you're 3 races away from the end of the season, and any of them can still take it, that tells you about the talent that's here.
Well, after this, we only have 2 races that remain. I'm sorry, 3. 3 races remain. We're going to Indianapolis, the granddaddy of them all. And then we're going to, what is it, San Jose Carlos or something? I don't even know what track that is. I've never been there personally. But then we're going to wrap up the season at Pocono, and that's going to be another fun race, as it was earlier in the season.
Yeah, Pocono is always a fun track to be at, especially in the open wheel cars. Not so much in the closed fender ones, but you know what? That latest update, it did make the the Cup car, real fun to go around that track. I can't wait for the official to go there now. But, pace cars, Porsche pace car leading them around. Still under caution. 8 laps to go, working the 10th caution, 150-lap race. Krums Kustom Graphix Blues Brothers 225. Clumbing to the end of this race, getting close.
It looks like we're going to have 6 laps to go when the green comes out next time. And I just want to add one thing. If it was up to me, if I ran this league, it would be mandatory single file restarts. Double file original start. And then after that, from that point on, single file. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I've seen guys, pro single file. I've seen guys con single file. They don't like it. It's kind of a 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Flip a coin. But you gotta give it to the guy that owns the league, the guy that runs the league, Mr. Scotty Brinson. He's how do they say? He who has all the gold makes all the rules. Well, he's the richest man on the track.
He sure is. He might win a third championship in a row, too.
I'm showing 17 cars still out there running on the track, 13 of them on your lead lap. So with Adam Baker, man, after that, I think he saved a fast repair because he is the last car still on the lead lap. Focus in on Adam Baker. That car, does it look like it's in one piece? Does it look like it's not? Why don't we take a look around the car and see what we can see. I don't see a front wing. Yep, front wing, back wing, front suspension. You know what? He had a fast repair. He's going to make a 6-lap run for it.
Lights are out on the pace car. There will be.
Yep, we're going to get 6
6 laps to go. This is going to get crazy. If you think this race has been exciting up to this point, just wait until these last 6 laps. Let's just hope we can get through it. Dan Neese might win the race under yellow flag. If we have another yellow, it's over. The green comes out, and there goes Neese once again running away.
Kind of keeping my eyes on Jeff Hollingsworth, wondering if he's just going to hold his spot and go call it a good points day, or is he going to get up there and challenge for more positions?
Well, it looks like Champion is going to come around Hollingsworth, and Champion's going to pick up the spot.
Yep, Champion washing up high, Hollingsworth right behind him as they just dart back and forth, trying to block, push, stay the same. Guys working the handshake deal, saying who can get around this track the fastest. Look at you, and Dan Neese just pulling.
Look at him all the way down on the apron. He almost lost it. Oh. He lost his momentum. He lost momentum, and Simard is going to challenge on the outside. Now, this is the time to do it. We got to spin. We got a car in the wall again, and the yellow's going to come out, and it looks like Chris Simard. Oh, they're awful close in 3. Yellow flag is out, but Simard had a wing on Dan Neese, and I think Chris Simard's going to win this race.
Chris Simard is showing out in front of Neese on my scoring, waiting for him to cross the start-finish line for iRacing to make it official. But by my calculations, folks, Chris Simard is going to take the win on this. That's going to go a long way to help him out of the tie for 4th place that he had.
Wow!
Oh, my God.
What a finish.
Run. Let's take
I
a
told
look
you,
at
Byron.
that.
I told you if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it quickly. Because the tires are still fresh.
Let's go back and take a look here. Jake Champion, he started to get loose and started that spin. Looking at Jake right there. Focused up on the top. Oh, Sam Cooper Bennett got into it a little bit. And a couple of cars up into the wall. And, oh, my God. Oh.
Sam Cooper's going to end up finishing 4th.
Let's take another look at that from the box.
Wow. Got a feel for Dan Neese, but what a job by Simard.
Yep. Bring it back live. Looking at the top of the racetrack. Do you really think that anyone's going to bring a pit side now with 4 to go under caution? I don't think so.
Makes no sense. I don't think we're going to go back green, Byron.
Well, we got 3 laps to go.
3 to go?
We got 3 to go. If the lights went out the next time, that'd be 2 to go, and then it would be take the green. So that'd be a green, white. You got 1 lap shootout.
That's your 1 lap.
So we might. There goes the wave around, or the lucky dog.
Keith Maiato comes around. We got to keep our eyes on that pace car, Byron. If those lights go out, we're going green for 1 lap. Simard might not have the race won after all.
No, he may not, and it just come down to a 1-lap dogfight.
It's going to come down to will he get a good jump or not.
The second that car pulls off, he's going to go hammer down and say, see ya. Or He's either going to play a little game, lay back like he's, tap that brake and then hammer down. You don't know. There's several different strategies you can do if you're the lead dog on this thing. Second place has got to be watching him out of the corner of his eye. Keep your eye on the pace car, folks. You see the flashing lights in the back on the top. That is what we're watching for. That is what we're looking at. That light bar on the top. When he comes across that start-finish line on that pace car, if those lights go out, we're going to have a one-lap shootout.
There he comes. He's heading for the line. The lights need to go out right now. If they don't, the race is over.
Rick, the lights are out.
The race is over.
Oh, yep, the race is over. Lights are still on the pace car. 2 laps to go. Oh, God, I was hoping we'd get a one-lap shootout.
That would have been like this race wasn't exciting enough.
Oh,
another shootout.
Gosh.
Congratulations to Chris Simard. That was an unbelievable finish. My heart goes out to Dan Neese, though, Byron. He really had this thing just about sewn up.
Hold on. It says 2 laps to go, so we're working lap 149 and 150. Yeah, that's official. We're not going to get the green because...
Are you sure?
Well, we're working lap... my scoring, we're working lap 149 and 150.
You really sure this time?
I'm hoping.
Yes, Doc Brown, by my calculations, I would say this race is over, and Simard has won it.
Well, if we're going to take a look at your top 10 and Simard, he's going to take home the race win. That's going to go a long way, pushing him up in the point standings as Paul Krumrie looks like he was ended his night early, way early. Dan Neese is going to hold down second. What a race by Dan Neese, boy. I got to tell you, he just brought it in there. Michael Jean's in third place in look at that fourth place car, Sam Cooper Bennett. He hasn't finished the top 5 that I've seen in a while, man, because of just, bad luck, but catching a car to the face here and there. Jeff Hollingsworth in your 5th position. Look who's 1 spot behind Hollingsworth. Scotty Brinson. Oh, no. Where does Scotty Brinson? Oh, back to 12th. I'm showing Scotty 6th. 12th.
Scott Brinson,
no.
I'm showing him in 6th place.
No, he's 6th place. My timing, he's blinking in and out, so it really messes with my timing screen. Scotty Brinson holding down your 6th place. Timothy Bates, Dylan Moskowitz coming in with 7th. Adam Baker 8th. Johnny Antonucci in 9th. And Jake Champion, what a race he had, man. What a heartbreak he had. Brings it in top 10.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, who's Jake Chapman, by the way? Is that a new nickname for Jake Champion?
Well, you know what? That's called I didn't put my damn glasses on, so cut me some slack.
Well, we do have a Chapman in the race, but it's not Jake, so I can understand where the confusion would come from.
Yeah, I hear you. Working our way around on the final lap, under caution. We are on lap 150 of 150. Your top 3 drivers right there behind the pace car. Chris Simard, Dan Neese, and Michael Jeans.
Dan Neese pulling alongside of Chris Simard, wants to get into that winner's picture. Here he comes to the line. The checkered flag is out. And Chris Simard has now officially won the race here. Top Fuel Racing at Chicagoland Speedway.
Yep.
Wow.
Chris Simard. As they take him around, let's take a look at your finishing, at your final here, folks. Your results go like this. Chris Simard, our race winner. Dan Neese in 2nd. Michael Jeans in 3rd. Sam Cooper Bennett bringing up that 4th spot. Jeff Hollingsworth in 5th. Scotty Brinson in 6th. Well, I tell you what, after the broadcast goes off the air, I'm going to hang around here and see how that point shook out. We'll update you at the beginning of the next race for everyone that doesn't go and take a look at the scoring or catch it on Facebook. Timothy Bates in 7th. 8th to Dylan Moskowitz. Adam Baker in 9th. Johnny Antonucci in 10th. Jake Champion, he had a hell of a race, man. I got to give him my hard luck hard case of the race, Jake Champion. Cameron Bostaine in 12th, Keith Maiato 13th, followed by Ron Hollyfield, Jeff Webker, Raul Alvarez, Mark Walker, Adam Chapman, Robert Dudley, and Mike Gandy.
And a celebration at the start-finish line by Chris Simard. He is melting those rears down.
Heck yeah, he is. Let's see if we can't duck down and let's see.
Incidentally, they're still refueling my car in the pits.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can't duck down. Let's see where, Mike, where are you hiding, Mike? I want to see if I can grab Mike. So I'll surprise him like I did the last time. I don't see Mike in here. Where is he hiding? Well, Mike, our third place driver, I don't see him in TeamSpeak there. So, what is that going to mean to me? I'll tell you what that's going to mean to me. I'm going to jump down. Our second place driver. I want to grab him. I want to have an interview with him because that was a heck of a race. Let's see if we can grab Dan and move him on up here into the booth. Hey, Dan, it's Byron and up in the booth with Rick Ravon. What a race, man. You had the point for so long there at the end. Tell us about that finish.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Paul Tracy right now. If the yellow would have came out a little bit earlier, I would have won it. But, pretty good race. Shout out to Keith. Really sorry for getting into him there near the end. But overall, good race.
Yep, that was a really fun race to watch. It was a really fun race to call. Saw you every restart, man. When you held the point, man, you were hammered down, and it looked like it was going to take a shovel to get you off that bottom lane. Was that just the place to be tonight?
Yeah, it seems that unless there was traffic in front of you, if you were on the bottom, nobody was going to get around you on the outside, especially even if they tried to side draft you. This track is a little too short compared to somewhere like Michigan where you can do that.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to give you a shout out. I wanted to ask you about that race. I want to tell you congratulations. That was a hell of a run. That was fun to call, man. Well, when you got up in the front, you held her down. Congratulations on second place.
You did a great job, man. You really did. I want to ask you a question, though. Were you feeling the pressure? Because I'll tell you, a couple of times outside of the main stretch, you came real close to touching that apron, a couple of inches.
Yeah, honestly, got a lot of sweat, lost a little bit of weight this race, it seems like, from all that pressure.
Yeah, we saw it, but good run. Congratulations there on the podium finish.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And folks, joining us up in the booth right now, we've got the guy that came up just one spot short of Mr. Nice there, Mr. Michael Jeans. Congratulations on third place. Tell us about your race.
Well, that was pretty crazy, pretty hairy, and a lot of fun.
It looked like, from our perspective up here in the booth watching through the race, that bottom lane was the place to be. What's your input on that?
Yeah, the way the track cooled off, and there's so much grip, you had to be on the bottom. If we, the one really long run or pretty long run that we had, you saw people start migrating to the top, but them little short runs is you got to be on the bottom. But you still got to be careful because
channel switched.
Two people.
Channel switched. User was moved out of your channel.
Arrow push was bad.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw the high lane work momentum coming out of the corner. Just couldn't keep up with him going into the next corner. But great race. Congratulations on the podium finish. It was a fun one to call. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, just all the guys here, man. It was a lot of fun. I hated that, me and Adam got together there. It looks like, netcode, but I know he's upset there at the end, but, that sucks.
Yeah, from the perspective of the booth and different camera angles, there was 2 or 3 different netcode incidents on the track, and I just hate to see when that happens because it just takes something where you actually had plenty of room and just ruins a race.
Yeah, it was. We were just, like I say, we were side by side there, and I knew it was tight, and I saw him in my mirror just disappear, and I was like, but I didn't get any contact, so I was like, well, crap. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Michael, on a great race and a great run. That was a fun one to call.
Yeah, man, thanks.
And joining us up in the booth
User was moved out of your
to help me ask some questions of our race winner, Mr. Chris Simard. First off, Chris Simard, thank you for such a show. That was a fun one to call. That was a fun one to see. And Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett bringing home the 4th spot to help me interview Mr. Chris Simard. Welcome to the booth.
Oh, you're very welcome. I feel out of place interviewing him because I was on track with him. So
I just wanted to make you uncomfortable. But, I had Sam, I had Mr. Ravon after he got hit with an iRacing glitch that wouldn't let him, jump back in his car after an accident. So he joined me up here in the booth for the last half of the race, man. And I want to tell you, Chris, Sam, you guys put on one hell of a show for us to watch. I haven't seen a race that tight for that long in a long time. Chris, congratulations on the victory. You were tied for fourth in points coming into this. This has got to catapult you up the list a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just happy for the win. I think this is my first win here in the 2 years that I've been running, so I am ecstatic.
Wow, really?
I think so.
Well, we've talked to your teammate in this position, Keith Maiato, a few times. Just lord this one over Keith. Tell him, hey, I'm the big dog. I'm the number one team going into the Indy 500 for next week.
Yeah, he's usually a lot faster than I am. So I think he got taken out there a little bit, but that's probably the only reason I get by him. So.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys get taken out a little bit. We saw netcode be an issue in 3 different incidents that I can remember that we caught. And so you guys were so close racing. I saw you working that side draft. How was it? How hard was it just to get around on that outside lane? Because it looked like you just didn't have anything for them when they were holding the inside.
Yeah, the only reason I got by Dan was because he went down on the apron in the front stretch, and he got a little bit loose, and he lost his momentum, and I got by him there just a little bit, and luckily the caution didn't come out until I was by him. So it was just impossible to pass on the outside of the leader, because if he's holding a good line on the bottom, it's just you could get a run, but you just couldn't pass him completely to pull down in front of him. So
Yep.
Hey, Chris, I got one question for you.
yes,
Were you happy to see me fall out of the race?
I'm never happy to see anyone fall out of the race. So.
Aw.
Well,
Even you, Rick.
I'll tell you what, we had a lot of cars take the green at the beginning of the race. By my count, there were 29 of you on the track, and it was an impressive thing to see. Great racing, tight racing all the way around. Chris, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I don't know, that caution coming out at that point helped me win. I kind of feel bad for Dan, but I'll take it. I'll take any win at this point. So any top 5 I will take. So I'm real happy. So.
Well, like I said, congratulations on the win. We're looking forward to Indianapolis next week. As a matter of fact, yours truly is going to be on the track with you guys racing that race. So look forward to it, and let's have fun.
Yeah, that's going to be it'll be my 2nd or 3rd race for the Indy 500 there. So it's gonna be wild.
Hey, Chris, one last question for you. Just before that final restart, what was going through your mind? What was the plan? Did you have something specific in mind, or was it just go like hell and hope for the best?
Well, I knew if I could get a decent start and stay ahead of Michael Jeans, then I would have had a shot there, and that's partly why I got that run, because Dan got a little bit of a lead there, and I was able to use his draft, and of course when he went down on the apron there, it kind of got him loose, and that's all.
Yep, I saw that, and I called
that's
it.
That's all it took for me to pass him. So.
Well,
Congratulations on your first win, man. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you, Rick.
Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, welcome up here into the booth after running that race, man. I've seen you have some tough luck in this league the whole time, man. It was so cool to call your name in the top 5.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, wasn't it?
Yeah, right there at the end too. It looked
Put it
like
mildly.
Yeah, it looked like you had a little bit of an incident towards the end there that got you into that 4th spot. But when we went back and looked at it, it was another incident of netcode.
Yeah, I spoke to Rick last night while he was doing one of his live streams, and I said, look, I feel like I'm improving race by race, and tomorrow is going to be no exception. I think I proved that here tonight, getting that 4th place. I fell to the back early on after getting into an incident, I believe. I can't remember.
It was early on in the race because we watched you fall down that leaderboard.
Yeah, I fell to the back because I lost my fast repair early, so I was like, I really need to stay at the back, stay out of trouble, and just not get into any incidents. And then when it was past halfway, I found myself back in the top 15. I was like, yeah, now's the time to go. So at some point during that little run there, I figured out how to get a fast line around the track, and I did. And it led to that incident near the end there, and I saw a gap, and I absolutely went for it. And I'm sorry to Jake Champion for that incident, but it was there, and I had to take it. It was for a top 5 with literally a couple of laps to go, so I apologize for that, but I'm happy with the 4th place regardless.
Yeah, it was a great run. Championship implications all the way around. We came into this race with Scotty Brinson, the league owner, leading in the championship by one supplementary point. And Keith Maiato being 13 points behind that, and Paul Krumry and Chris Samard tied for 4th behind him. Chris winning the race is going to jump up the list, but I'm looking at the finishing order here. Jeff Hollingsworth, 5th. Scotty Brinson, 6th. Neither one of them led a lap. So how is that going to shake the points out?
It's going to shake it up big time. I mean, the gap between Hollingsworth and Brinson is still at 1 point. The gap between between Brinson and Maiato has actually got bigger to 20 points now. So Keith, after that poor performance tonight, falling really far backwards. And Krumry, after his early retirement, he's fallen even away, and I'm pretty sure he's out of the title picture now as we go into Indy next week.
Yep, Indy next week. Look forward. I'm actually going to be on track racing with you guys, I believe. So I'm looking forward to running with y'all. The 500, and it's no slouch. We do put down 500 miles around that track.
Wouldn't want to put 500 laps around that track.
No, we'd be there. We'd be there to the next day.
But yeah, it's going to be a bummer. I'm really sad that I'm not going to be there, but it's for a greater cause. Of course, most people know that I will be on my way to America at that point. So for the real life Indy 500, go Sage. So
you hear that, Rick? Make sure you get the warning to Homeland Security out now. He's on the way.
Oh, believe me, I'm on it. It's already been done.
But I'll be going there to show my support for Sage, and hopefully he has a good race there next week. And I'm making a special trip, so Sage, I'm waiting for my free T-shirt, dude.
Oh, you're going to get
out?
out?
Oh, it's in the mail. It's in the mail. I talked to Sage's dad today, and he mailed them out today, so you should be getting it.
I hope so.
Yeah, it'll show up. It'll show up in Ireland probably about 3 days after you left to come over here.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
But
that's gonna suck.
No, you'll pick one up, at the track, and guess what? I'll guarantee you're going to get a handshake and an autograph out of Mr. Karam. Who didn't race with us tonight because let's face it, he's got a real job, folks, and that's running the real Indy car around the Indy 500. He's there practicing it, and we want to wish him a good luck. We want to root for him and have a good race. Anything else you guys want to say before we call it a night here in Chicago?
Well, before we go anywhere, I want to get your predictions. I want to get your thoughts on next week's Indy 500. What are your thoughts going into the race, and what do you think you can achieve out of it? Rick, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, boy. I mean, we're talking about 33 guys out there, in a long, long race. I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, you've got so many quality guys in the field. Any one of them could win the race. It really depends on what the setup's going to be like and how the cars are going to handle behind one another in the draft and stuff like that. So hard to make a prediction right now. It would be almost impossible. Roll the dice. Roll a 33-sided die, and any one of those guys could be the winner next Wednesday.
Byron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are I'm laying down. I got the setup for the track. I'm laying down a lot of practice around there, trying to get my line, trying to get, as clean as I can. As I do these broadcasts, and I sit in car with guys like Rick, with guys like Sage, Chris, and Keith Maiato. They do what I call hold a pretty wheel. You're not scrubbing those tires. They're not back and forth sawing on it. I'm working to get smooth, get consistent. Don't know where I'm going to qualify in on that thing, but I guarantee you I'm going to do everything I can to root and gouge and squeeze every bit of track position I can. I do look for the cream to rise to the top. I look for Rick, to be there towards the front of it. Sam, I look for you to be, top 5 or better in there. I look for Hollingsworth and Brinson to work from probably mid-pack forward quietly like they do every race. It's going to be a fun one to see.
I'm not going to be there next week, so I won't be pushing for a top 5. So.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm just rubbing that salt in there. You know.
You don't need to. I'm going to the real thing, baby.
Yeah,
Byron.
He's rubbing salt in on me now.
Byron just mentioned that's what I believe is going to be the key to the race. Now you got 500 miles, 200 laps around that 2.5 mile speedway, but the higher up you qualify, the better shot you're going to have to stay out of trouble. You got 33 guys out there, and you know you've got to be in the front of the field and minimize your chances of being involved in something should it happen, because it's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race, but like I said, you know, you got to hold a pretty wheel. You know, if you can not scrub those tires, you keep that tire traction, keep those wings in the good air, keep the you know, even in the draft behind somebody, save that fuel. Maybe you get an extra lap or two out of that tank. That all plays into strategy, you know. And then the caution flag, the great equalizer. We'll see how it goes.
Well, you know, you got to play it like let's say a Scotty Brinson. You know, he knows how to be patient. He knows how to win championships. And you've got to be patient. Patience, patience, patience. You've got to get to the end of that race. It's a long race. And if you could get towards the end and be close to the front towards the end of the race, that's going to be your shot.
Yep, that is going to be the shot. Well, guys, for Rick Ravon, thank you for joining me up in the booth for the last half of the race. For my cohort and the ESPN founder, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, this is Byron Rodney up here in the booth calling that race. Guys, it was a lot of fun. It was real fun. I'm not going to call it anything else. ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network, bringing you coverage of the Top Fuel IndyCar Series from Chicago. It's been a great race, guys. I had a lot of fun, and we'll catch you next week from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the 500. Can't wait. Everyone, it's been fun. My name's Byron. We'll see you later.